Hi guys, welcome to Science with Kanash. Today I'll be explaining IGCSE Chemistry 0620 Topic 1 States of Matter. So let's start. This is the syllabus content 1.1 and in this we'll be covering solids, liquids and gases, the properties of the three states, the structures, the arrangement, motion, and we'll be also learning about the changes of state and the effect of temperature and pressure on the volume of a gas. So let's start. Now, first is properties of solids, liquids, and gases. A solid has a high density, liquid has medium density, and gases have low density. Solids have particles which are tightly packed in a lattice structure, and liquids are randomly arranged, and gases are also randomly arranged. Movement of particles in solids vibrate at their own positions, they do not move around. Most liquids move around each other and gases move quickly in all directions. Solid particles have the least energy, liquids have greater energy than solids, and the gases have the highest energy. And in the slide you can see the diagrams, the 2D diagram for all the three states, in which it is quite clear that solids are tightly packed and they cannot move, whereas liquids are moving, but the gases are moving very quickly in all directions. Let's move to the next slide. Changes of state. So when a solid converts into a liquid, it is melting. And melting occurs at a specific temperature, which is known as the melting point. And when a liquid changes into a solid, it is known as freezing. It is completely the opposite of melting, and it occurs at the same temperature as the melting point. When liquids change into gas, it is vaporization, and when gas turns into a liquid, it is condensation. Where liquid can also turn into a gas by boiling. Boiling occurs at a specific temperature known as the boiling point, but evaporation can occur at any temperature. Boiling occurs throughout the liquid, but evaporation only occurs at the surface of the liquid. Condensation is when a gas turns into a liquid, and sublimation is when a solid directly turns into a liquid without going to the when a solid directly turns into a gas without going through the liquid state. Now, freezing releases thermal energy. Freezing and condensation release thermal energy, whereas sublimation, melting, and vaporization absorb thermal energy. Let's move to the next one. Kinetic theory and state changes. So when you add energy to the particles, they move more quickly and they push itself apart, and this weakens the bonds between them. So when you heat a solid, it causes the particles to vibrate more quickly, and as the temperature keeps on increasing, the particles vibrate so much that the solid expands and it melts. When it is melted, it is in a liquid state, and when you heat the liquid, it expands more, and some particles gain sufficient energy and they evaporate. When the boiling point temperature of the liquid is reached, all the particles have sufficient energy to escape and the liquid starts to boil. This is the heating and the cooling curve. So in this part, the liquid, it is a solid, and here the solid turns into a liquid. This is where the potential energy increases, but the kinetic energy stays constant. And then this part is the liquid, in which the kinetic energy increases, but the potential energy stays the constant. And here again, the kinetic energy stays constant and boiling or evaporation occurs. And here it is a gas. The opposite happens for a cooling curve. The temperature keeps on decreasing, as you can see. It is a gas, and then the gas is turning into a liquid, and then it turns in, and the liquid turns into a solid and it freezes. Let's move to the next. Now, effect of temperature and pressure on the volume of a gas. The volume of a gas is inversely proportional to the pressure at the constant temperature. That means as the volume decreases, the pressure increases. This is because when the volume decreases, the particles collide with the walls of the container more frequently, which means they exert a greater pressure. And if the volume increases, the pressure decreases because the particles collide the walls of the container less frequently, and hence the pressure they exert decreases. The volume of a gas is directly proportional to the temperature. So this means as the temperature increases, the volume of a gas also increases. This is because when the temperature increases, the particles gain more kinetic energy and hence they collide with the piston more frequently, which causes the piston to move upwards and the volume increases. I hope this slide is clear. Let's move to the next. Now this is the syllabus content 1.2, in which we learn about diffusion, and we explain diffusion in terms of kinetic particle theory. We also learn about the effect of relative molecular mass on the rate of diffusion of gases. So let's start. What is diffusion? Diffusion is the movement of particles from a region of high concentration to a region of low concentration. Diffusion only occurs in fluids and not in solids, because particles in solid cannot move freely. Diffusion does not require any energy input, but it occurs faster at higher temperatures. This is because particles have more kinetic energy and hence they move faster. Diffusion occurs much faster in gases than in liquids. This is because the gases have weaker intermolecular forces than liquids. And let's see the relationship between the relative mass and the rate of diffusion. So as the lower the relative mass of a gas, the faster it will diffuse. Let's see an experiment of this. This is a question which is frequently asked in the Igcse examination, in which they may ask the reason why is the ammonium chloride formed at Y, or where will be the ammonium chloride formed. They might give you A, B, C, D in MCQs, and you may have to choose. Now this happens because ammonia has a lower relative atomic mass compared to hydrogen chloride, so it can diffuse faster, so it diffuses quickly at the position Y, whereas HCl has a higher atomic mass and cannot move so fast, so it goes slowly, and hence it's formed at Y, which is near to HCl. That's it for today. Thank you so much. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.